Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back to another eBay tips video. Today I want to talk about what I do when things go south. When I've done all the things and the package finally arrives at my doorstep, I pop it open it up, look inside, and then my heart sinks and I'm like, this is not what I ordered. This is not what I expected. This is not what I was hoping for. Now, before you rush off and slam them with a negative feedback, there's a whole lot of things you can do before you fire that nuclear weapon, so to speak, because trust me, once you hit that negative feedback button and said your piece, it's over. There's nothing else you can do to fix it. So let's try to mitigate that. Let's try to fix that before we get to that point, and then we'll go into what I would do if I was completely unsatisfied and wanting to slam that particular seller with the ultimate weapon, so to speak. First off, when you're getting ready to buy something, make sure they accept returns. If they don't, they probably aren't all that confident in what they're doing. If they accept returns, they know there could be a problem. They're willing to work with you, and they're willing to make sure they don't get hit with a negative feedback, because the negative feedback can be a warning to all their future customers. Don't deal with this seller. Next, and before you even hit that buy it now or place that bid, contact the seller, communicate with them as much as you can. Make sure the item is what you want, what you're hoping for. Maybe ask for some extra photographs at different angles. Hit them with any questions you might have, especially with books, because sometimes there's writing or pages that are loose or things like that you're going to be like, hey, I didn't want this. I wanted, something in a better condition. So communicate with your seller as much as you can. Make sure you're confident that you're going to be about to make, or you're about to make the purchase that will, make everybody happy. They'll get their money, you'll get that item. Sorry about the sirens in the background, folks. We live right next to a racetrack, and there's always something going on. Now, let's assume that you got the item and you're not happy. Right off the bat, communicate with the seller. Let them know why you're not happy, what you expected, how the item differs from their ad. Let them know that you're not playing games, but don't be threatening them with a negative feedback right off the bat. Just say, hey, I'm not happy. I would like to get my money back, or something like that. Because you can always go and contact eBay and get them involved, and they'll put some pressure on the seller. Heck, they may even send you the refund, and you get to keep the item, which sometimes isn't a bad thing. Sometimes you can just use that item as a placeholder until you get the copy of whatever it is you're looking for. Especially with a book, you can start reading it, and sure, it may be in crappy condition or something like that, but you read it, you put it on the shelf, and then you wait until you find another version, a better version of whatever it is you're looking for. Also, I would recommend offering them a solution. Maybe you're willing to be happy if they'll give you a partial refund. I like using that term because it lets them know that you're only $5 or $10 shy of being cool with the purchase. And believe me, both things have happened many times for me, getting a complete refund and getting to keep the item, or getting a partial refund and being able to give the seller at least a neutral feedback, which, by the way, is actually kind of like a negative feedback. It doesn't help them. It kind of hurts them in the overall algorithm of how well they're doing on eBay. But if you offer them a solution, maybe you can work things out and they'll send you that partial refund, or they'll say, go ahead, send it back. I don't normally accept returns, but in this case, send it back. I'll refund your money. Now, let's assume, just for argument's sake, that doesn't happen, and they're steadfast in the belief that they did everything they said they were going to do, and you're stuck with the item. You can always let them know that you will not be able to send them or leave them positive feedback. Never threaten to leave negative feedback, because that always makes you look bad, and sometimes in the eyes of eBay, that can get you into a lot of trouble. Maybe even having your account terminated, which is not a good thing, because eBay is a great source of revenue and for getting all those things you want to add to your collection. But let's assume that they're just being a total jerk about the entire situation. Think about what you're going to say in the negative feedback. Make sure you word it carefully. No cursing. Don't even use the word crappy. Just say exactly what happened. Sometimes you can get away with warning other sellers, if you word it correctly, not to shop with this person. Buyer beware is a phrase I like to use quite often when that happens, which has not really been a lot of times. There haven't been too many times I've left negative feedback. And if it's an overseas company, especially coming from certain parts of the world, rest assured that there's going to be a ton of those, which is a tip I should have mentioned earlier. Always check your seller's feedback. It's a good indicator of what's happened to them in the past, and may very well get you to just reconsider the purchase altogether. If they've got 1 to 3 to 7 negative feedback in the course of a couple of years or more, stuff happens sometimes. But if they've got like the same negative feedback occurring over and over and over again, then that's something that they're completely comfortable with doing, whatever that might be, whatever transgression. And watch out for items never arriving. That is never a coincidence. That's always something that they may very well be a scammer who has found a way to make it look like they shipped the item but didn't ship the item. In which case, the tracking number may say it arrived, but they found a way to get the item back from the postman or something like that, saying, "Oh, I forgot something. Can you hand it back to me? It's already been scanned. It's already been shown as been accepted by the post office." And sometimes those guys aren't too diligent. But definitely be careful with what you leave in the negative feedback, because like I said, once you've fired that button, there's no going back on either side. You can't take that negative feedback back unless you go through a lot of work through eBay, which maybe you want to do. But you don't want to look like the bad guy when you're doing it, because you got kind of cheated or wronged somehow. Not them, but there are people out there that will try and turn it around, especially if they respond to the negative feedback. If they do, just maybe there's something you can say in response, but for the most part, once it's done, it's done, and you're probably never going to be able to reconcile that particular transaction, and it's off to the races again to go patiently look for the item that you wanted but didn't get in the condition or state that you were hoping for. And it's just a big waste of time and money. Obviously valuable lessons learned, but I'd prefer to not make those mistakes. I'm sure you guys would too, and I hope this video is helping to curtail that in some way, some fashion, that you'll be able to take these tips from your old pal Shadow and take them to heart when you go shopping. And maybe you will add that one more item to your collection, and the next time you shop, you'll have a whole lot of tips and tools to use so that this doesn't happen again. And I hope that your eBay experiences will be as good as mine have been, because for the most part, I've really had a lot of fun and gotten a lot of enjoyment from being able to use eBay as a resource to add to my collection, to go shopping for gifts for other people, because it's a great way to get a very special, personalized gift for someone. It shows them that you care enough to look around. You just didn't go to Walmart and went down the seasonal aisle and went, lotions, all right, cool, here you go. Stuff like that is just very impersonal, and shopping on eBay, like I said, has been an absolute joy for me and for my friends and family, when I've been able to get them something special that you can't find just anywhere. Sure, you can get lucky at a yard sale, a swap meet, a a thrift store or even a pawn shop. But getting it brand new, still in the box, or something that's, decades old, hasn't been seen for years and years, and your friend has been talking nonstop about this thing from the past, you go on eBay and go, haha, guess what, buddy? Guess what you're getting for your birthday? It's going to be the best gift you got in years. And, for that, I am incredibly grateful and happy to be able to have such a resource as eBay. So hopefully these tips will make you feel the same way as I do. And until next time, have a wonderful weekend. Don't do too much shopping because there's too much beautiful sunlight and fresh air out there just waiting to be breathed in. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I will see you guys real soon. And until next time, happy trails.